That's nice. Yeah, yeah, it makes for a long day.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Dodge the raindrops on your way in?
No, I just came from the market.
Ah, selling or buying?
It's just a 1 month market in Kelly, so I
Okay.
opened my shop. One of my
Oh.
boys sold lemonade tonight. But it always rains on Tuesday in August. So,
Yeah, it kind of kills
yeah, and
participation.
I was trying to leave and then somebody hit a, like a car, hit a child, so there was a woman in my office like trying to tell me all about it. And I'm like trying to listen to politely and be like,
Is the child okay? Child okay?
yeah, everybody's okay, but you know, just kind of felt like, well, they're not on chair. Everybody should slow down and pay attention.
Right.
And it shouldn't happen. So. All right.
The rain was missing, so that's the rain.
This is every single Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
The clock goes backwards.
That's a classic movie. There's some parts of it I think we should make standards. Any high school. All right, I got 6:30, so I'm going to call our meeting to order. And we do not have any items for executive session, so I'm going to invite us to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have a whole vote of minutes to approve, so we'll start with a motion to approve the reorg minutes from July of 2023. So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? All right, so now I'll entertain a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from the 5th of July. Second. Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, then I'll ask for a motion for the special meeting on the 24th of July. So moved. Second. Questions or comments? We know the person who can fix that. Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So you want us to switch her abstention to that one from the first?
Sorry.
That's all right. All right, so
one.
that moves us to
Yeah.
opening comments. I don't have a ton of them. I just want to say I don't have COVID, but I was exposed to somebody last week who did, so I'm just trying to be safe. So it's tough because it fogs my glasses, which is not fun. But I thought I'd just let you know that I'm not sitting here in recovery mode. I'm in prevention mode. So.
Nor is it a fashion statement.
Never has been. Never has. So, Superintendent Turner.
I just have a couple. I don't want to rain on Josh or Lee's parade. They're going to be talking to us about the capital project progress up to this point. But if you've been by any of the buildings where work is being done, you see there's a lot of work being done. And this is the time of the summer every year, especially this year with the capital project, where it's easy to get a little flabbergasted and say, oh my goodness, is this gonna all come together? Josh and Lee have assured me that it is going to come together, and they'll be giving us some of that information in just a little bit. The only other thing I wanted to point out is that we continue to interview and add people by the minute, really. There were a couple of late additions today. That were a couple of TAs that we added. We had additional interviews this afternoon that we weren't able to get the paperwork done yet, but we're finding high quality people. It is a arduous process. Our building administrators and the folks that they put on the committees do an excellent job in finding great talent for us. But I would be lying to you if I didn't say that the pool of candidates for some of the positions is pretty shallow. It is an ever-increasing concern of ours that we're going to find the best staff for our kids. So I wanted to just spend a minute thanking the administrative group for all of the work that they put into that. It's a really important job, one of the most important that we do, identifying talent. But we have, as of this, right now, I think we still have 4 TAs to hire before the end of the summer. We're looking at a building mechanic that will help bolster our buildings and grounds to replace someone that's left. So we still have plenty of work to do, but we'll stick with it and keep you up to date as we go.
All right. That brings us to our board presentation.
It does, and we have Lee Stepp from our construction management firm, LaChase, and Josh Pizzaio with Hunt Architects here tonight. I've asked them to give you a feel for the work being done and the scope of work that'll be done leading up to the time kids come back September 6th. The one caveat I will say before I turn the floor over to them, we're not quite sure yet when we'll be able to get staff back in the buildings. It's always, always a question from staff. This year it's more up in the air than we know, than we've had previously. We'll do our best. We'll continue to communicate with our staff because they are chomping at the bit, and we want to give them access as quickly as we can. But we obviously want to do it in a way that doesn't put them in unsafe situations or have them get in the way of the work being done. So we're regularly talking about that. So if you get any questions from any staff, you can always just send them to me. I'll be happy to talk to them about it. We'll be putting out a communication pretty soon to let people know kind of where we stand. So I wanted to just get that out there before I turn it over to these fine gentlemen. So, floor is yours.
Good evening, everybody. So let's just go through the work progression of the current project, phase 1 here. As a reminder, this summer we're renovating 4 of the bathrooms over there at the intermediate junior high school. We've selected 2 on the opposite sides of the building because they're of different builds. So we wanted to sort out and know what we're going to encounter so that we can plan effectively for next year with the rest of the bathrooms. So we drilled down through that. The tile is going up on the walls quite nicely, and the bathrooms should be put plumbing fixtures in next week. We are going to be lacking permanent wood doors and hardware. We're not going to receive them until September. GC's installing temporary doors so that we'll just let you know what to expect. But you're going to see when the kids come back and the staff comes back are not your permanent doors, so just be aware of that. In the intermediate library, everything's progressing pretty well. We're painted out there. They're going to be starting on the floor, following the ceiling next week. We are going to miss a few components such as the reception desk for the start of school, but they're going to come in late September, early October. So that casework, we may get some of it, but the reception desk is going to be lacking. Then again, the wood doors there are going to come to the number. We'll just have to schedule them outside of occupancy to see if that works. So over at intermediate junior high school, the playground equipment is in place. I've got photos of it. I can pull those up, but you're also going to see those in the We're nearing completion of the drainage over at the intermediate junior high school. The concrete around the playground area is scheduled for the latter part of this week. They're going to start over here where they're already boxed out. The granite curve is at the intermediate junior high school. We'll get all that concrete in place that we can and around the playground area in the new configuration that we have. Then the fencing will go back up and they can commence with the rubberized surface that goes beneath the playground area right after. So we're lining that up to occur next week. The electrical trenching, they finish at the elementary school today, and they're going to be jumping over to do exactly the same thing over at the intermediate junior high school, with the setting of the new light pole bases so that we're ready to pave over there. Again, concrete sidewalks, I've got a redundancy there, but the asphalt paving is going to occur. We're trying to push the granite curve, and that's the key to everything being paved over there, but they're getting some pushback with the granite curve being able to be available. We're going to get involved and try to expedite that granite curve so we can get it sooner than they'd like. Their availability is proven to be a challenge. It's something I have to work through with the contractor tomorrow. At the elementary school, we're scheduled to start tomorrow through Friday there too. We're going to have 2 crews from Concrete, and they're going to be just paving sections over at the elementary school so that we can still feed the roofing work that's going on. So I've had to intervene with what's going on there. So concrete sidewalk will begin quite soon, if not tomorrow, to this point. This concrete is going to be left open so that we can access the playground temporarily. But they're going to put the concrete in through this curb reset also, so that we can still get back here, do the electrical duct bank change, and feed the building for the remaining moving materials. They're also wanting to get the concrete installed here and around here. This has got an integral concrete curb with the sidewalk. We need to get this in. So we're directing the roofing contractor to have their own access down through here so that we can maintain the rest of the productivity on the site. This is going on. We also need to introduce some drainage under the pre-K playground because it's getting that new rubberized surface in it. You guys did a community build on that, and there wasn't an under drain included in the bill, so we're going to have to add that in. That's going to be a change, but you guys are going to need it. The GC had scheduled the main entrance at the high school and the side entrance concrete margin to happen this summer, but they haven't delivered on it yet. So I have to make a decision. I have a scheduling meeting with the GC tomorrow as well, as to whether they're going to be able to do that work this summer. In my opinion, there's enough time in August to get this work done, and they should be pushed to do that as long as it doesn't impact activities at the high school. So, replacement of the digital sign, both of the bases are in the high school as well as the intermediate school. And the contractor's allowing the concrete to cure, but they're planning on being back next week to install these signs. We'll have some initial training go on with the administrators so they can function in the sign or use a bug sign and become familiar with it in advance of it's going back to school. That's the plan. In September, just the remaining work at the bathrooms. It looks like it's just doors and hardware, but we also have a fin tube change that is underway also. And we don't want to reintroduce the old fin tube. It may be there for a while. Know that we're waiting on the bids. You know, the contractor just got direction of the cement today, so it's going to be a little bit until the actual goes in. And like I mentioned, we're going to have to follow up on some casework and permanent doors in the library where the meetings. Roofing replacement is going very well. We're So this is where they're prepped for the concrete sidewalk to go in here. They're gonna leave this open, they'll have to drop back before that a separate time. They're gonna do a section here as well, so they're gonna continue paving next year. With that said, paving becomes more opportunity, okay? And we need to discuss when we have people coming back in. There's a lot of activity still at the site. They're gonna need a lot of it to get things going. So let's make that call, but we don't wanna hold up. It's, we provide safe access to the building. We'll let the administrators know, we're working on. So rooms 215 and the room beneath it at the end of area C, the framing is going up presently. We're going to have to readdress this down the line when the actual windows come in also. And built in the permanent enclosure there. This is a shot of the progression of the bathrooms. This is your new tile. It's a nice fresh new look in the bathrooms, which is definitely going to be an improvement for you guys. But this is junior high side, 162. Here's the intermediate library. Cassettes have been installed in the ceiling space, so they may air conditioning is introduced to the space. So we're doing a pressure test on Friday. I just want everybody to know, we're going to barricade the area off, but we don't want anybody in there because the lines are going to be under pressure to verify that there are no leaks. They'll probably want to schedule a window installation for Friday as well. This is the intermediate school playground. It's progressed since this photo on the 26th. All of the equipment is in and up, the nets are on and everything. But this is your main climber play structure over there at the inner school as of last week, or 2 weeks ago, rather. Both of the stormwater management systems are in place at the intermediate and the elementary schools. They're underground. You'll see photos in the monthly report. I hope it popped up here real quick, but I've got a lot of photos to go through. I don't want to take up a whole lot more time. Is there anything specific that you would like to see? Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Questions for Josh or Lee? Anything that jumps out at you? Amy?
I got questions. You said thin tube, is that like a sound tube or what is thin tube?
Underneath windows, you have a radiator basically.
Okay.
There are pins inside the enclosure that distribute heat to temperature.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
it is. It's to temper the air in the space where it gets heat. It's ventilated. Into the school year, you're not going to need a whole lot of heat in the bathrooms. Your teachers might appreciate them coming right back.
Okay. And then there was this one area over by the elementary that you said you're leaving a temporary pathway. Is that gonna be curb eventually all around, or is there like some kind of apron that goes in
There's a
that section
sidewalk
there?
fully around the playground. Let me go back there.
You're talking about from the drive,
Yeah.
the parking lot?
Yeah.
So currently we're gonna leave it in there because there's still large equipment going back and forth. So we don't wanna put in the concrete work.
We're still feeding materials on that roof back there too.
But eventually that just becomes lawn?
No, it'll become concrete. It's just case, it'll come at a later
You
date.
just leave the section out so that it doesn't get heavy.
And then they'll form it, pour it in,
Okay, so I don't want to sound like that, but the concrete is gonna go to the doors to the building, or the concrete is just gonna fill in that length
So
of the
there's-
sidewalk?
in the end, it'll be a mixture. I mean, there's still some existing concrete that'll remain. There was a few doors along the side that had classrooms, that had doors coming out of it, but not pathway. You know, they just went to a landing in the grass. We do have sidewalks extending that to a, you know, connecting into a sidewalk.
So we have new sidewalk all the way along the new.
So I'm talking about an elementary.
That is,
Oh.
show her the
Okay.
spot, Lee, that you're talking about, that we're leaving out for access for a
Right here
while.
where this curb cut is.
Yes.
That's gonna be left out so that we can still have access over to work on the playground.
So my question is when it gets filled in, is it gonna be level with the sidewalk, that the new addition to the sidewalk here, or is there gonna be an apron that goes down and then it becomes a different level to that walk, that path?
Yeah.
Right in there.
It's gonna go back in level.
It'll be level.
But that allows for a wheelchair to roll up there, though.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
ADA access
Yes.
is achieved right here,
Okay,
but it's just gonna be realized later, that's all.
understood. Okay.
The nice thing about the addition of that sidewalk all along the new lot, that will allow us to look at a different traffic pattern for our buses, for dropping off and picking up, get them off of Park Place there, and potentially open it up for better traffic flow.
I think we agree. Do you have the landscaping plans?
I can go there, but it's all right here anyway.
Oh,
Very
okay.
speak to it. So at the playground area, we have a full sidewalk that is going around the new playground layout. A lot of this equipment is being salvaged in place with a new rubberized surface going under it instead of wood chips. This is an asphalt area with games such as basketball backstop, and, you know, foursquare, stuff like that. With the new addition to the playground over here. Again, the sidewalk goes around it fully. No 40 is an acer free.
It's a tree.
And a tree, right.
So Amy, your question about shade, so you've got the trees that will provide some shade, but then the bottom right of the playground, right, he's circling, those where those boxes are, those are two seats with shade structures over the top.
Awesome.
And we have the same thing that'll be at the intermediate junior high as well.
And the trees will grow to become good shape for the big split. Off the bat, obviously, it's a smaller tree.
What kind of
So-
tree?
No 40, right? It's, we have the arborists in here, this will help you. There's 5 acer free body. It's a hardwood. I'm not sure what type of tree it is. I'm not up on my lap, I'm sorry.
Is it brown? It's a garden.
Other questions for Lee or Josh?
Josh has got, our presentation.
Okay.
And I'll talk more on Fitness 2. So, when we went through the bidding process for phase 1, which was the update that Lee just gave, we had favorable bidding, so we had remaining funds. And prior to bidding, with anticipation of it going the other way due to the nature of the market, we had pulled some items out of the project. And basically, phase 2 is putting those items back into the project. And I'm just going to run through them real quick. Here. So at the elementary, we are going back in and doing the multi-purpose for the game bathroom renovations. So similar to what you saw at the intermediate, that work will be done at the elementary. Outside of that, we were able to maintain everything else that we originally wanted to go after in the project in phase one. So that'll be the only thing at the elementary for phase two. At the intermediate junior high, the highlighted area right here is currently the intermediate boys and girls locker room. Currently it wasn't being utilized as a locker room for that age group. So we're combining the two rooms together and creating a multi-purpose room. The big item that we'll be doing is down at the parent drop-off. So in phase one, we were able to relocate the playground. Right before we went out to bid, we decided to move the playground, basically to create this opportunity for the parent drop-off. We felt if we updated the playground in place, we'd be kind of stuck with maintaining the current layout of the parent drop-off. So because we moved it, we're able to utilize the area that the playground was in to create this parent drop-off loop, which will provide a lot more sidewalk for the parents to drop off along. It also increases the parking lot capacity that you currently have. And working with phase one and phase two, the hardscape, so the basketball hoop, foursquare, that asphalt play area, that'll come in the phase two part of it. But we were able to kind of plan for it through the phase one projects, so that way at the end it won't feel like two separate projects. And it'll be very similar to what we did at the elementary.
I'm sorry, I have a question, and I apologize for not asking this earlier, but seeing this picture now, so currently we have like an entrance and an exit for the junior high, and we have an entrance and an exit for the intermediate. Are we eliminating one of those?
So currently, what'll end up happening is,
You mean for the lot or the building?
For the lot. You know what I mean? How,
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, you want to explain, but yeah, what's gonna happen, it'll be the same, everything's moved over to the left side, so the entrance and the exit's moved all the way over to the left-hand side of the lot. So that gives you more opportunity for parents to pull in, turn right immediately upon getting into the lot and head to the loop. It gets them off of Clinton Street, gives them more room. So we have moved, there's not two separate entrances anymore, they're all over to the left-hand side
okay,
together.
that's what I was, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry about jumping in, but
that's what, in phase one, we addressed the bus approach and the drop-off of students. And again, with the goal of trying to provide more length of sidewalk for you to drop off along. And at the same time, trying, especially in phase one, was trying to organize the parking to try to utilize the space as best we can. The same thing was addressed in phase two, but on this side, focusing on the parent drop-off.
So is there a drop-off zone? Is it like different colors, something, or signage? Because in all fairness, they like to be like right on top of the door to drop off their kids. So is there like some type of visibility that this is a whole zone?
There's an entire hash area right there.
Yes. So these,
well, there'll be an education piece to that, Amy, for sure. Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
we want to take advantage of the extended sidewalk to stop the bottleneck that happens right by the building like you're talking about.
Yeah.
so the line work that you see along this edge is accomplished, so it's painted line work. So the idea is that this remains a lane that, parents can continue on. And during the busiest times, this whole entire length could be utilized for parents. And still allow, people to, once they've dropped off, to continue on. And at the same time, if you don't want to, if you're not a parent dropping off, say you're a staff member, instead of following the loop and getting stuck in the traffic, you are able to turn here and get into your parking. The goal is that, as best we can, it would, continue past that point, parents dropping off.
Is all traffic, of course, immediately to the right?
Yeah, so everything goes to the right. You either break off the parking or you continue on for dropping off. And
be an improvement for sure.
Yeah.
Really.
And that bottleneck is rough.
And again, there was a, you know, overall between the two phases, you guys have gained quite a bit of margin as well.
Yeah.
And then the last portion is that we'll combine the high school sports field and bus garage. The parking lot behind the cafeteria is being addressed in this phase. The multi-purpose. The getting bathrooms for the high school are getting their facelift as well. Currently, this piece is already has been ordered, but the bus lift is being replaced. That was failing for the district. The baseball field is being repurposed into a softball field. And the scoreboard is being replaced.
I'm sorry.
So the modified side would play high school one, would you use?
No, not after this.
What are you calling the what are the bathrooms?
So game bathroom, so the multi-person.
Oh, so
G-A-N-G.
G-A-N-G.
Okay.
Yeah, separate.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Just means multiple occupants, right?
I
Sort of
thought
the short
we
school,
just
yeah.
had the locker rooms done.
That'll be the headline in the newspaper.
No, we're not getting into the locker rooms, it's just,
What's that?
Are you able to show me the last meeting for the intermediate? And is there a drop-down pit? Is there, there's a bunch of kids that think there's a drop-down pit going into the intermediate? I'd like to just set that straight.
Yeah. Aaron said they can dig around with it.
I don't believe there was a trend of being a
Updating it.
Is there room if somebody else funded it? Like land room?
As a recommendation, I discount the airways. Okay? They have a lot of, but injuries increase, just consider that. That's my recommendation, based on my experience.
So it's not, there isn't one in our plan?
No, there's not one in the current.
Okay.
Just, mine is painted for Foursquare, and then there were a couple of.
I think that alone is a great improvement, just being able to have Foursquare.
You know, there's but ones that can pop up.
Yeah, there's a lot of different styles out there for consideration. So this layout is not the current configuration that we're gonna put in, just let me put that up front. This has changed within the last week to allow for the concrete to be installed over here for the introduction for the asphalt area. It's all been coordinated. So this is the playground layout over there at the intermediate school. There are four swings, regular swings here, and then there's some ADA swings here as well. These are seat spinners, I guess. I guess that's the best way to describe them. This is your climber. And then there's a spherical structure that's up the ground that's spinning as well. I've got to see that function. Just to understand it myself.
And we did have a row of trees.
Where are the trees?
Yeah, these are
Those
oaks right
circles.
here, right? These are oaks down through here. Phase 2 will put a couple more down at the end of that tree.
And the square things, is that shade?
Yeah, those are the ones that are over on the left now, because we had to clear out the,
Yeah, these have been relocated for design to be over here so that it's centrally located between the asphalt area and the playground.
So my next question is there room for expansion for like specifically swings? Because 4 swings is not a lot for, I mean, there can be up to 60 children on one line, and the swings are the top.
Within this current layout, there's not room for adding swings to here. You would have to consider adding.
Can't go on the other side. Oh, I mean, like the other side of the lawn
There's always an opportunity for more. Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to continue on to the swing line. But you could potentially add another bank of swings.
Is there a slide?
There's a slide that's, I believe it's integrated into that.
This was all, the design largely came from the input from staff. So the designer, we had a playground designer as part of the project that came and met with the building folks, and they gave them input, and from that input, they developed what they wanted. Not to say that it's going to meet everybody's need, but that's something that you reevaluate down the road.
So the climbing structure also has slides. There's a lot that goes on inside that giant wall climbing structure. It's not good word. But the idea is that it's set up to entertain
Okay.
a lot of kids at once.
And that's, I guess, I think what I'm trying to get at is how many children can actually.
Lee,
play.
why don't we, if we want to share, if the folks want more information, specific information.
Yeah, I have to go for that. rendering.
Yeah, I don't,
okay.
we'd be happy to provide it.
Yeah.
One, hopefully, quick question. I was just wondering if there was a covered area for students to wait for their ride.
There is not. There's not.
Lovely faces. Nothing pressing.
That's unfortunate. Is that something that has been considered, or was it?
We did have conversations about it, but it never got to the point where it made it into the project, just because of the amount of times that you really would need it. Because we tend to have our students, unless the parents are late, the students tend to come out of school, their parents are there, they get in the car and they go. It's not common that you have people sitting, so, students standing there for extended periods of time. If the weather is really inclement, they could still stay inside, and that end by the intermediate school where the playground is now, they could wait there until they see them there. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, gentlemen. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
I believe that brings us to our new business. So I'll accept a motion to approve the warrants and claim auditors reports. So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion to approve the treasurer's reports. Second. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? And for information there, we have our investment summary as well as the budget status and revenue status reports. I need a motion to approve the report from the Committee on Preschool Education. I'm going to put it over there.
So moved.
Questions or comments from Mr. Moore?
Is that all the preschool?
Huh?
Is that all, or is that just a batch?
That's just what happened recently.
Additional questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, continuing on that theme, motion to approve the report from the Committee on Special Education.
So moved.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, that brings us to the disposal of items. Motion to approve the disposal of items from various places around the district. Questions or comments? And I'm personally curious, what are we gonna do without the VA test player? But sell that on eBay or something.
Yeah. Museum.
Any real questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? All right. So we need a motion to approve the emergency application of pesticides on district property. Second. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. So next we have a motion to approve the tax certiorari reserve resolution.
Motion.
Second. Questions or comments? I've been practicing all weekend to say that.
Well done.
Easy, meeting's easy from here on out. And so folks understand that this is a normal annual process. We hold money for people that have claims about disputing their tax bill. And this is part of our regulations of the state. We hold this money just as available.
Right. At the end of every year, we have to return what we had saved from the previous year to the general fund and then reestablish it. You're doing all that in the same motion. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All right, so now we need a motion to approve the tax warrant resolution. So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? With that one, you will have a paper coming around that you'll need to sign and register your vote. So that will pass along. Just go to the whole folder. Let's see, what does that take us to?
Field trip.
Field trip, of course, I thought so. Turn my page. Motion to accept the field trip request from Youth and Government for their leadership meetings.
Second. Oh, sorry.
Questions?
Thank you.
Questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? All right, motion to approve the donation in the amount of $500.
Motion.
Questions or comments?
That's great.
Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? All right, so now we need a motion to approve the seeker resolution for the 2023 capital outlay project. So moved. Questions or comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Next, motion to approve our personnel items. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? So now we're into informational items. Mr. Superintendent Turner.
Yes, I'm going to play the part of the auctioneer now. I had sent out to you previously the board and district committee listings earlier in the month, last month, I guess. And I'd like to have folks identify which ones they'd like to be on. I think probably the easiest way to do that is to start and go down through the list and raise your hand if you're interested. And I'll take everybody's name, and if we have too many, then we'll talk at a later date. But I just want to see where your interest lies. So the first is the audit committee. Last year, Aaron and Chuck, along with Luke Marinas, were on it. So we'd like to have the same number of members if we could, 3 members. Anybody interested? So Casey, Chuck,
What was this? I'm sorry.
this is audit committee.
Audit.
Eddie? Okay. Anybody else want to be considered, put in the mix?
You won't be disappointed.
Let's go to budget and finance. Last year, we had 4 of the board on it. They were Luke, Aaron, Emily, and Chuck. Who's interested in doing that? Chuck? Emily? Aaron? Okay. If anyone else changes their mind, you can just let me know. I'll be happy to add you. Oh, John. Okay, great. All right, the policy committee. Last year it was Emily and Julie McChesney. We'd like to have a couple of members on there. Amy, thank you. Eddie, thank you. Casey. Okay. Going. Community engagement. That was Amy, Eddie, and Casey last year. Anybody interested this year? So Megan, Emily, Jessica, anybody else? Casey? Okay. Awesome. What about facilities? Last year we had Amy, Luke, Eddie, and Chuck. Chuck? Eddie? Amy? Okay. ILC, instructional leadership. Last year we had Emily and Julie. Megan? John? Aaron? I don't know if I'll be able to read my own writing tomorrow, but. The professional, did I miss somebody?
No, she's
Oh, you got it too? I wish you would have told me that when we started. PLC, that's what the folks that get together to plan our professional staff development. Last year was Aaron and Emily. Any takers? John? Awesome.
I'll stay on.
Emily? Wonderful. Okay. Safety committee. Last year we had Emily and KC. Megan? Jessica, great. Okay. Social emotional learning. Last year we had Emily. Who would like to do it? Megan? Emily and Jessica. All right. I might have just written down Gemily. I'm not sure. We'll see. And the last is student engagement. We had Emily and Julie last year. Emily, Eddie, John, and Amy.
Water didn't do it, I got 3, I'm good.
You
Okay.
sure?
Yeah, I trust them.
Emily, Eddie, and did you get who's the third?
John.
John. Okay. All right, great. Thank you so much. I'll put this in a readable format, send it out to you. So, and then we'll start. We're going to start some of these committees fairly quickly. So we'll reach out to you with some dates. Okay. Thank you very much for your time commitment. I appreciate that. That's all I have.
All right, so I believe this brings us to our time of the evening where we open up for community voices. And I have 2 people that have signed up to share. Nicholas Card and I want to make sure I say it right. Tanya? Tanya, okay. Just as a reminder, you're welcome to come. You get 2 minutes to share with us. We just receive as a board. You're welcome to ask us questions. It's helpful if you submit those in writing to us, because we won't respond live, but we'll take those.
That's fine, I just wanted to introduce you. My name's Nicholas Curtis, my wife, Tanya. We didn't know that we could actually come here and speak to you guys, which is kind of cool now. Don't mind me, I'm a little nervous when I get talking.
You're doing fine.
We have some concerns about over at the elementary school and so the safety of the children. I mean, I'm not trying to single my kids out, but they were in a class this year, kindergarten. And there's some things that have been going on, like evacuation type issues, you know, where the kids have to stop learning and evacuate the class because there's some other individuals or kids that are misbehaving and whatnot. And several times, they gotta do it like multiple times during the day and throughout the week. They have to leave the classroom. They swear and spit and hit, you know, at the students, the teachers' aides. For instance, my child, I have 2 twin boys, Jason got almost stabbed with a pair of scissors. So, excuse
we were hoping that our kids, these two specific kids would have been taken out of the classroom. That's what we were hoping. No, that wasn't the case. They continued to stay in class. And it's really stressful for our kids not wanting to go to school. Like, kindergarten should be the best time of their lives. Like, this stuff should be going on when you're in high school, like, not in kindergarten. It's just, it's concerning. And we're concerned that the way that these two specific kids act, this is in kindergarten. What's gonna happen as we go on? And it's not, I feel like it's just not fair to our kids to be, you know. And it's not just specifically our kids, there's been other, there's been other concerns with the parents as well. But nothing has been done.
I don't know if anybody brought anything up to you.
What's that?
I don't know if anybody's brought anything up to you. I didn't know we could come here.
We talked about it a lot.
So,
But that's like a main concern.
so thank you for bringing that concern. That's our 2-minute window.
Yeah.
I'm sure Superintendent Turk will connect with you and talk
Absolutely.
about some of the things that have been happening that you may not be able to see from the outside. But he and
Mr. Pasquarello.
Mr. Pasquarello will be happy to connect with you and talk a little bit more about what's been going on and some of the pieces that we have to navigate in the joys of the public school world, of how we walk with our students. So thank you for taking the time. Thank you for coming, and even in the nervousness, stepping and doing that. You did great, but thank you for bringing that information in front of us.
Would you do me a favor? Would you give me the best number to reach you folks at?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just write it right on there. That way we'll have it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for caring about your kids.
Thank you, sir.
Man, we would have came earlier, you know what I mean? But we
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah.
We could actually come.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
talk to you guys, so.
We love to have folks come and tell us what's going on.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And if we get 5 in a month, you have to do an interpretive dance.
Yeah, something like that.
All right. Well, that brings us to our board committee reports.
We have none.
We have none. That's a beautiful thing. So how about board member activities?
I'm a foreign exchange student right now, so it's not through school, but I'm gonna bring him to the school to check out what a school bus looks like. And Mr. Burnett said that he can walk through the halls to see what an American school looks like, so I think that's really cool.
Excellent.
He is from Japan, he's from Tokyo, and yeah, it's been nothing like living with, what am I up to, 5 guys. So, yeah, and we've actually brought 5 guys, so no, just
There you
us.
go.
But yeah, I
How
currently
long-
live
how
with 5
long-
guys.
How long do you have it for?
It's a 4-week exchange through the 4-H, but he's at Camp Asagachi right now with a bunch of the FFA, so that looks like an amazing time. I'd like to see us maybe highlight that a little bit more.
I
And we
didn't
have
know
a
that-
senior, we have a kid who already graduated high school that is still going to Camp Asagachi. Like, that says so much for
I
that
didn't know they
program.
did that with 4-H, that's great. They
Yeah.
changed the program.
There's 25 of them that came from Japan, and they're all over New York State, so,
That's great.
yeah.
Anything else? And, upcoming events.
If you look at the upcoming events, you'll see that September is right around the corner. And as we talked about earlier, a lot to be done between now and then, but we will be ready for kids and all of the wonderful activities that go along with that. When we meet the 5th of September, looking forward to it.
And before I move to close, I will say to be thinking ahead, the 5th of September is kind of opening day with the staff. And as a board, we are invited to come at the beginning of that day. And so I want to encourage you, if you're available that day, it's a really great way to be present, to be visible to the faculty and staff.
They appreciate it.
You have to endure me standing up and saying a few words and things like that, but it's a really great way to interact with the staff as board members, to show of your support to start up. So I mentioned it now, so you can be thinking, I think it's 7:45 or 8 o'clock, or
We usually start, we're left already.
just, if you can put that in your planning, and it usually 20 minutes, because they're on with their day of learning and training. So if you're available that day, put it on your calendar. It'd be great to have you as a way to show our support for the start of the school year.
So high school's not doing like an open house or something before school starts?
Well,
this year?
with the capital project, all of those are fairly tentative, right? So, we're looking to plan some of those as we get into the school year, but just because who knows what's gonna be going on. This building doesn't have, while it doesn't have a lot of work being done in it, everything is here right now, and so whether or not we'll have it clean and ready to go, that's gonna be the rub here.
Okay.
We had a parents' square or something in
Yeah, the
August.
23rd, there's a walk.
Yeah, the freshman orientation.
Tom, it's typically traditionally our late crew day with our freshmen, and we typically open the building for just freshmen that evening.
Right.
So August 23rd, we're going to open up the building for everyone.
Oh, okay.
Just so the board's aware too, those students that cannot make the late crew day, I'm taking phone calls and scheduling building tours with our late crew leaders on days that work for those kids too.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jim.
Great, thank you.
With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Now, this is a record that we have all 9 of you here. So let's do our picture. This will be the earliest we've ever been able to do it. So let's take our board